Long before modern preservatives, chemicals, and sealants, our ancestors relied on ingenuity, observation, and natural materials to protect the timber that supported their homes, tools, and fortifications. Every beam, plank, and post was precious, and the failure of wood could mean collapse, wasted labor, or worse. Yet some structures, from medieval longhouses to ancient bridges, survived centuries. The secret was not hidden formulas. It was the practical, hands-on knowledge of natural wood protection. These techniques combined patient observation, careful handling, and the strategic use of materials like fire, smoke, and natural oils. Understanding how our forefathers treated wood is not just historical curiosity, it is a guide for anyone seeking to craft durable, long-lasting timber today. You know, heat and fire were absolutely central to timber preservation. Fire wasn't just a source of warmth or a handy tool for cooking. Actually, it was one of the first natural preservatives. Historical builders discovered that gently exposing wood to heat would remove internal moisture, harden the fibers, and reduce the risk of decay. In Northern Europe, for instance, longhouse beams were often dried near hearths or in low-heat smoke chambers before being installed. This process produced wood that could survive for decades, even when exposed to cold, moisture, and pests. The real key was control. Too much heat too quickly would crack or warp the timber, but slow, consistent warmth allowed water to leave evenly, stabilizing the wood. Today, you can replicate this approach on a small scale by stacking timber near a gentle heat source in a ventilated space, turning boards periodically and, just monitoring the drying process carefully. How smoke acted as both preservative and insect deterrent. Smoke treatment was as important as heat in natural wood protection. As smoke drifted over timber, compounds like phenols and mild acids penetrated the surface, creating a chemical barrier against mold, fungi, and insects. Historical evidence from Viking longhouses, Japanese shrines, and medieval palisades shows that smoke-treated beams resisted rot far longer than untreated wood. Practically speaking, a small smoke chamber with hardwood embers can reproduce this effect today. By keeping flames low, rotating timber regularly, and allowing smoke to circulate evenly, wood absorbs these natural protective compounds without scorching, which, increases both lifespan and resilience. Why natural oils and plant extracts were applied to enhance durability. In addition to heat and smoke, our forefathers used oils and plant resins to protect timber. Linseed oil, tung oil, and pine resin were applied to penetrate wood fibers, maintaining moisture balance, increasing flexibility, and creating a barrier against water. Some cultures even experimented with mixtures of oils, waxes, and plant extracts to enhance these effects. For modern application, lightly applying natural oils with a cloth allowing time for absorption and repeating as needed restores flexibility and helps prevent cracking, particularly in heirloom beams, outdoor structures, and tool handles. Careful selection and air drying really complemented those natural treatments. Protection actually began even before any treatment was applied. Craftsmen with a keen eye selected straight-grained, dense, and knot-free timber for the most critical structures. Air drying under shelter, it allowed water to leave naturally, reducing internal tension and minimizing the risk of warping or splitting. In some cases, timbers were partially seasoned before smoke or heat treatment to achieve optimal durability. This combination of careful selection and methodical drying was as important as any chemical treatment we use today. For modern enthusiasts, setting up ventilated storage, stacking timber off the ground, and allowing weeks or even months for slow drying ensures predictable performance and prepares wood for additional preservation methods. Why design and placement worked hand in hand with natural protection. Our forefathers understood that preservation was not only about treatment, it also involved intelligent design. Raised floors, sloped roofs, and interlocking joints minimized water contact and allowed airflow, complementing the effects of heat, smoke, and oil treatments. Beams in longhouses or fortifications were rarely left in direct contact with damp soil, and joints were cut to distribute weight evenly and prevent localized stress. Modern builders can apply the same principles. Designing structures to shed water, encourage ventilation, and reduce mechanical strain extends the life of treated timber dramatically. Patience and observation were really the ultimate preservatives. Time and careful attention were absolutely crucial. Builders observed how wood reacted to drying, heat, and smoke, and they would adjust their techniques as needed. They understood that rushing treatment could produce brittle or warped beams, while patience, well, that ensured maximum longevity. Today, this principle remains invaluable. Slow, methodical application of natural preservation techniques, combined with monitoring the wood's condition, yields superior results for both structural timber and small-scale projects like furniture tool handles and outdoor installations. So why do these natural techniques still matter today? Well, modern chemicals and pressure-treated lumber might seem convenient, but honestly, they rarely match the balance of strength, flexibility, and longevity that you get from natural preservation methods. By combining careful selection, air-drying, gentle heat smoke treatment, natural oils, and, intelligent design, modern enthusiasts can create timber that's not just durable and sustainable, but also historically faithful. Whether you're restoring heritage structures, crafting off-grid shelters, or even preparing survival tools, these techniques give you a low-tech, proven way to achieve long-lasting wood. The legacy of natural wood protection really reminds us that ingenuity, observation, and patience were just as valuable as any modern invention. By applying these time-tested methods, you honor the knowledge of our forefathers while making sure your timber stands the test of time. If you appreciate practical historical insight, sustainable craftsmanship, and skills forged through centuries of experience, go ahead and subscribe to Ancient Know-How. Share this guide with fellow enthusiasts and help keep the legacy of natural wood preservation alive for generations to come.